Hey, it's me, unapologetically T, and I am here. I'm exhausted. I had a lot going on today, and it was actually, I feel really bad because I had signed up to do something with one of my students, and I wasn't able, one of my previous students, and I wasn't able to make it just because life was life. And it wasn't even just like in a bad way. It's just like getting lost in time. I've been so used to my time being my time, and just going with the flow of things that I literally forgot my commitment. And I do not like that. I do not like if I commit to something. I have so much guilt and shame, but I did say today was growth. Today was growth in knowing that it wasn't the end of the world because I missed out on something that I said I was going to do. And literally I just prayed that, like, whatever, because it was for like a focus group, which I'm really proud of them. But like, I just pray, everything work out on their end. They have enough participants and all that good stuff. And I literally, just made a whoopsie. I literally didn't even realize like the mistake I had made until one of my other previous students, which they do know each other, had called, and they triggered the thought like, oh, I was supposed to do this for such and such. And I really wanted to participate in it because it was supposed to be like really good, from what I was reading about what the focus group was about. So anyway, didn't get to make it, but I did get to see how my nervous system is becoming more regulated when it comes to stuff like that, because it was like panic wanted to set in, but it was like, calm down. It's not the end of the world. Just reach out and let them know, whatever. Today I had court, which thank God it got dismissed. Like, I literally had court on my birthday. So I had court on my birthday, it got continued, and then today it got dismissed. So thank God for that. And I definitely was, a little concerned about it. I was a little concerned about it. And I've all my life have prided myself on that I did not have a record, but I definitely was no saint. And so it wasn't that I couldn't have had a record. It was just that by the grace of God, I was afforded to make certain stupid mistakes and I would say stupid decisions and choices, and it not be a stain on me. Now that I'm much older, I kind of could care less about the whole record thing, because there's too many people who has felons that is literally contradictive to, what society deem as bad people. Like, I know so many motherfucking bad people who are better than the good people. So it's very contradictory to me. And it's not that like I care about the record part. I just don't want to subscribe to doing anything, that goes against my morals or principles. So that's more of how I'm living my life, is more about being aligned with my morals and principles, and not hurting other people or myself as much as possible. So it's kind of like where I'm playing the game at with myself, and I don't even feel like I'm playing no game no more. It's just I am living life, and I don't look at life as a game anymore. It's still kind of stage play. And it's more of like I'm watching the show now. I'm not. I'm the leading actor in my life, but it's more of like I've been afforded to be able to watch the show happen, and it is a crazy show. It is a crazy show. Man in America is like living in a a Jerry Springer episode. It's like living in a Jerry Springer episode. So it's like I've already escaped my own circus, and it's like now I'm looking at this other circus that is wild. It is wild. It makes America looks very not much intelligent, and that's farthest from the truth. It's just that the intelligent people in America are not running the show. It's like we are watching, and we are, helping others by our presence and showing up in this world every day. That's what we're doing. Like, but far as this shit show the forefathers has set up for us, like, we're just watching it unfold. I think they knew more than, well, it ain't no thing. I know they knew more than what we have been taught. And I think that there are going to be some great plot twists in this shit. Like, I think that they set up a lot of plot twists in this. And it's probably going to blow their own. When I say their own people, I mean, like, if you think about colonization and you think about America winning their independence from Britain, however, still colonizing their own people, just like Britain did, you had these, like, hierarchical systems still set up, but we just didn't do the kings and queens. I literally was telling my daughter the other day, like, she was like, but America is a democracy, and like I think she was talking about Tobago having a dictatorship, and I was like, America literally is a dictatorship. It just has the illusion of a democracy, but there is no true democracy here. Like, I really need people to learn civics. I really need you guys to learn civics, and I thank God I had some teachers that taught me civics. I thank God that I had some books that really taught civics. I thank God that I was afforded to go to college and I had white men teach me real American history even deeper. Like, we were taught in high school that the Civil War was to free the slaves, and I did want to do a video on this, but let's go. We were taught in primary school, we were taught in secondary school that the Civil War was to free the slaves. It was an argument about freeing the slaves. And that couldn't be the farthest thing from the fucking truth. That's why you have Confederate people to this day that says, this is my history, this is my culture, I represent this flag. It does not mean that to me. However, it does. They don't realize that they did perpetuate slavery, because back then, slavery, sharecropping was the way that the South made their money. However, don't let that North come in here and fucking brainwash and confuse you. It was never started because they wanted to free the slaves. Literally, the Union wanted to industrialize America, and they wanted to have a united appearance of a united front. So prior to the federal government being established, it was controlled as states controlled their own states. And this is very vital and important to looking at what is happening today. I won't say anything, but I feel like if you were paying attention, then you can really see the dismantling of things. All right, so the South literally did not want a centralized government. Like, they did not want a federal government. The Federales, the Confederates, they did not want they didn't want that. So they didn't want someone else coming in trying to tell them what to do for their state. As you can see, it's still like the government controls, like the federal government controls the bulk of things. However, like, you have state laws and regulations. That's why we have all these different laws through different states and all that stuff. Like, down to even traffic laws. Like, when we say we're the United States, we are, when you look at shit through politics and government, we are not united at all. We're not a united front at all. And if you look at how everyone else views even just the terms that we use, literally we call countries countries, whereas in other parts of the world call their countries states. And like we're called it's a bunch of confusion in this stuff. So like, and it's supposed to be, but for their purposes. But like that literally was one of the things that, you know, kind of caused this. And then another thing was to have industrialization to like mass produce things and have cheap labor. Let's listen to this. We're gonna have cheap labor. Like, so these people at the bottom are gonna work their ass off. And like we're at the top, we're gonna make bank. So then we have over here in the South, you know. So that was factory based, mass production based. Then we have in the South, we're gonna have mass production for our crops. And we're gonna not pay them nothing. And we're gonna make 100% the profit as far as paying workers. Industrialization teased the idea of like having more, paying people with the illusion that, you know, you're free, but you're really not free still. Labor conditions was god awful during those time periods. The pay was not equaling what the people at the top were making. So we're literally looking at modern day slavery. So like, even though the North was arguing for an industrialized, you know, world, they just figured out a way to have modern day slavery. And that's what you have today. Like everyone is slaving to live. And we don't even have that comfortable cushion spot anymore where like you can be working and still like you literally do what you're supposed to do. Like you go to work 40 hours a week and you literally can pay your bills and have fun too. We're now looking at a situation where you're literally working overtime, working 2 and 3 jobs, and you literally have to figure out, can you afford fun? Or let's just say is making enough money to have some fun. When can you have the fun? Because you're working all the time. So even when you have free time, you're exhausted. So the reason that slavery came into play for the Civil War, guess what, you guys? The reason that came into play was because of why? The South didn't want to get on board. And the South had different reasons why they didn't want to get on board. I just named 2. You probably can find even more. If you sit here and talk to a historian, you probably can find more. But the South did not want to get on board because it didn't make sense for them. And one of the ones that I agree on them with was this strong centralized government that's literally out of touch with the people, because you're literally supposed to be working for the people, but you're not. And they knew that would happen. So I don't agree with either sides, but the South is showing up pretty like it making sense. It's making sense. You're dealing with the wolf and the fox. The wolf and the fox. The wolf shows you it's a wolf. I call that the South. The fox is fucking sly, and I call that the North. My mom always told me like I would take a racist Southerner over a racist Northerner any day, because a racist Northerner is not going to tell you they're racist in your face. They're just going to stab you in your back. A Southerner, on the other hand, going to tell you how they feel. They're going to tell you how they feel in your face. And I have seen that be pretty fucking accurate. Literally, I don't agree with neither sides on either of this shit, but I understand the South, and I understand the greed of the North as well. Both of them were greedy. And then the South also was like, I see this being a power struggle, so I don't want any parts of it. But anyway, they knew it wouldn't be for the people, which the people wasn't us, the black and brown people. The people were, people wasn't even the people of white skin, because they literally clashed y'all. They clashed y'all and called y'all, PWT. And they literally did not even care about what happened with y'all. They cared about the 1%. They cared about the 1% that was making the money. Like, a lot of people didn't realize, like, everybody couldn't afford to have slaves. Even though these people were, my ancestors were working for free. You had to have money. It's just like if you have a farm, you have to feed. And they treated us like cattle. They treated us like animals. They treated us like that. And granted, there were some nice slave owners, but is there really a nice slave owner? That's Stockholm syndrome. So, but it was just like they treated us like cattle. And so if you have a farm, it's expensive to like home, your cattle. You have to feed your cattle. And for human purposes, you have to clothe your cattle. You have to do all these things to make sure the cattle at least live. They did the bare minimum in most cases. And so it was a cost to be a slave owner. Everybody couldn't be slave owners. So, like, contrary to what people feel like, there were not a lot of people that were slave owners. You can kind of check your last name and see who were top players in this. Like, and if you look at a lot of these black names like Johnson and Washington, I have Johnson in my family lineage. Just those common names. You have you got, I feel like brown though is definitely like free black people. Free black people name themselves brown or black. Some blacks come from blacksmithing, but like our last names literally were tied to sometimes the jobs people did, like but you can look at your last names, and some of us who are named after these like famous 1% men, literally, is right there in front of you. It's just that we don't have the proof, because a lot of our history was stolen and washed away and taken from us. But that literally, some of us have our slave master name. I have my slave master name, baby. What black person or Native American person, like indigenous person, would be like, I want the last name White. I'm free now, and I want the last name White. I want the last name Washington. Like, come on, baby. That's straight from the plantation. That's straight from the slave masters. I always tell people, like, that's my slave master's last name. That's my slave master's last name. If my ancestors had a choice, and I don't mean like, given the choice to just, be like, what their last name was going to be. I mean, if they were free in mind, they would have changed their last name to something that resonated with them. So, literally, I always tell people, like, that's my slave master's last name if we're on that wavelength. So, and definitely, like, I got asked that question as a kid and as a teacher. Why your last name White and you black? Like, or you're brown? Like, that's what the little kids used to say. They used to be like, why your last name White? Why your last name White, Miss White, and you're brown? But like the kids in the hood used to be like, why your last name White and you black? like I didn't have, what I knew now and to say like that, and I wouldn't say it to a certain age group of kids. I'll say it to a middle schooler or a high schooler, but not elementary school. So, but yeah, so like we're literally carrying the last names of our forefathers, and a lot of us have birthrights that were stolen, and I'm getting off track from what I was actually talking about, but a lot of us do. A lot of us have birthrights that were actually stolen. But yeah, you got Jackson. Jackson is one. Jackson is one. Jackson. Think about all these dead presidents, like, in their last names. So all of them. I always tell people, like, George Washington is literally, it was a hop, skip. Mount Pelion was the first, I think, White House, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the first White House originally. Mount Pelion is like, you can hop and skip to Louisa, which is where my mother's family is from. And my mother's family last name was Washington. There were some other last names too. Like, you have so many people had to exist for you to exist today. And so that shit goes back deep. If you can trace it. It does take time. It takes time, and it really can take money. It can take money to try to hunt all this stuff down. And some of it has been like just a total erasure. And you just gotta tap into, downloads and trust what you know and feel. Might not be fact, but do you need it? You know what you know. And so we'll keep going. But yeah, so like, you literally had the North and the South fighting. And the only reason that the North brought slavery into this was a strategy. The North knew that taking slavery away from the South would completely cripple the economics of the South. It would cripple the economy. They made their money off of sharecropping. That was the bulk of their money, was sharecropping. Yeah, other men had investments and other dealings and things, but the 1% that were rich in the South, that ran things and controlled things, made their money off of slavery. So the North did it as strategy. They didn't give a fuck about no black people and being free. You know how long people were trying to free slaves? It just so happened that it was an aligned benefit for them, that they went with that strategy. And so it went down in history as if they freed the slaves. But if you really cared about freeing the slaves, why do we celebrate Juneteenth to this day? That meant that after all this was done, you didn't even care to go down there and make sure that everybody was free. You used it as propaganda. You used it to get more soldiers in your war. And you didn't care about those people. It shows today. You didn't care about my ancestors. You didn't care about my indigenous ancestors. And a lot of us were already here. Like, you can see it in certain tribes that you have not whitewashed. The Gullah Geechee people, I think it's, what is it? Somalian? It's not Somalian. It's not that at all. It's Seminole, I think. Seminole. I can't look it up right now. My phone dead. My other phone is dead. But I think it's Seminoles, like the Black Seminoles. Like, you can look that up. Just try to sound it out. I think it's Seminole. Don't quote me though. I think if you Google that, black, and that, like, it'll give you what I'm talking about. Like, literally native looking people with black skin. And let's not forget that black genes can code genetically for phenotypes that are not always just dark colors. Blue eyes, fair skin are recessive genes. They come from our genetic coding. So literally, there were black people already here that had different shades and colors. My brown it's a reddish brown. when it's like just a regular. Sometimes it can be just a brown. When I'm soaking up this sun, I can get chocolate. I mean, I can get dark chocolate. Like, my skin tone literally can go. It can fluctuate. It ain't gonna get no lighter, but it can go down the gradient to get darker. And that just show you right there, like, it can code for whatever it wants to code for. Like, I have a light-skinned brother. Granted, his father is light-skinned, but I've seen people who are too darker-skinned people code for a light-skinned child with green eyes. My grandfather had green eyes. It's funny because one of my friends, one of my old friends, she had the same type of eyes as him, and like we all had that same last name. So it was funny and interesting. Like, you just never know who's connected to who or what and when and where. And this shit is like it's bigger than just ourselves. Like, this is definitely a network of family lineages and connections and peoples and blah blah blahs. But anywho, yeah, when you learn the real history of things, like learning civics, you learn that I just told you about that Civil War stuff. And living out in rural Virginia, like, a lot of y'all have these stereotypes about how ignorant people are. I will say there are some ignorant racists out here for sure. Like, they're uneducated. When I say ignorant, they're not educated. And I think it's designed to be that way. It's designed to create division. It's a profit if we're fighting each other and not focusing on what's going on and what's the real problem. So, but being out here in rural Virginia and being around white people who, diehard Confederacy. Are they prejudiced? I think they have stereotypes just like the rest of us. I think they have stereotypes, definitely, from not being, around different types of black people. They're around black people, they're around Hispanic people, but being around different types of people, I think they have stereotypes. Do I think that, they're unfair as far as race? I don't feel that. I've sat down and had conversations with them. I think they're just like literally misinformed. The same way we're misinformed about why they support the Confederacy. A lot of us feel like it's just ultimately them taking a stance on supporting slavery, and it wasn't. For the common people who weren't the 1%, they looked at it as like being loyal to the South, and they weren't even the people that were profiting off of slavery. Now, did they gain privileges from slavery? Yes, the fuck they did. And that's the disconnect. We're not learning the appropriate history. So we're literally divided, and we're literally listening to TV and allowing TV to divide us, when literally you have everyday people on all ends of the spectrum who are fucking fed up. And we literally aren't having conversations together because we're just automatically passing judgment on each other. And that's the disservice. Like, it is time for us to start having these conversations. And whether we agree or not, it's time for us to start finding something to agree on. Like, it is time for us to start finding something we can agree on. And I think the agreement is that we all realize we're dying to live. We're not living and then dying. We're dying to live. And I ran into a white guy, like, people would stereotype him as like, a country redneck. Nope. Literally, and I mean, he might have identified as that, like, so I can't say no, but like, that's how, society would view him. I'm not viewing him like that. So, I can only view him from the lens I have, and what I saw was a businessman. I saw a businessman who owned his own business, and he's frustrated with, like, you know, how things are being ran right now. We really had a deep conversation about how literally we don't, this was his word. I don't give a fuck who's in office. Like, can we live? Can we live? Can we live? Like, the cost of living does not match what we are making. And that is even for the people who are going out here who, this is the funniest part. This is for the people who went to college, did it the way that society told them to do it. That's the craziest part. You did it the way society claimed you should do it. And now you're stuck. You're stuck because a lot of these jobs has disappeared overnight. So now you're not even needed anymore. So now your degree has lost value. You haven't lost value, but your degree has. So sounds like it's depreciating in value, like a car off a car lot. And then you also have entrepreneurs who are literally, you know, trying. They were the ones that said, look, they might have went to college, they might not have went to college, but it was like, I want to work for me. And so they're trying to work for them, but they have these employees they have to pay, and they have to cover all these things. They're being heavily taxed. And I could have sworn we literally had fought Britain because we said no taxation without representation. Who's representing us? Because y'all say people are representing us, but they can't be representing the people. They can't be representing the people. What people are they representing? Because you are taxing the fuck out of the people, and it can't be anybody representing us. Like, yeah, you got a body there, but they are not representing the people who show up every day and are trying to make a living for their family. They are not representing us. And then we're not even taking into account, if you went to college, if you are an entrepreneur, what about the people who said, okay, well, I couldn't even meet those marks, but I'm going to show up and work for somebody else every day. And I begged for this minimum wage, but you gave me the minimum wage and raised it. Cause baby, the fact that when I was a teenager, minimum wage was $5.50. I think minimum wage was $5.50 when I first started working. So when I was grown, had my own kid and my own family, minimum wage had only rose to like 7 something. And niggas had to like protest to get y'all to want to go up to 15, and you still haven't even made the mark to 15 in this state. Like, that's generous. But even with you raising minimum wage for minimum wage, you didn't change the wage amount for the middle class, the up. Like, so it's just like, we're still all like in the same melting pot. You literally raise the cost of living of everything from, you know, paying rent, paying a mortgage, food, you know, food. You can't even get water for free that's good unless you probably have a well or a spring nearby. So you got to buy the goddamn water store. You still don't know if it's good. So you got to buy the organic stuff that really still is not good for us because the soil is tainted. So like, we just can't get a break. So like, that stuff costs. So like, you literally, even if you scrap eating clean and you go back to eating the fuel that isn't great, and you know it's causing cancer because it's heavily processed and messed up and given all kind of pesticides and pretty waxes and all that stuff just to make you want to eat it, you're still in a situation where you can't afford it. You can't afford to live. You can't afford to live anymore. And I'm just wondering where this is going to go. So I'm just watching the show, you guys. I'm watching the show. I'm watching the show. And I'm watching the show during Ramadan. So, like, the clarity is crazy. And I'm just like, I know I'm not the only one seeing it. I know I'm not the only one seeing it. And I know we all have our own separate, paths and journeys, and everybody got a job to do. Everybody is doing their job. And you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job, but I just want you to know, like, while you're watching this show, don't be discouraged. Watch this shit like it's a show. Eat your popcorn, prepare, prepare. The best thing you can do right now is try to prepare. Whether that be stocking up on food, but like we said, like, who can afford to stock up on food when you barely can afford to eat like for the day? So a lot of people who did prepare were preparing before now. If you can still prepare now, prepare now, because I'm watching the show and I'm just, looking at the avenues that it can go. However, I'm not God in this. I don't know where it's gonna go. I can only try to use foresight, and there's actually mathematical equations going on. Like, well, if this variable gets into play, this can happen. So, like, it's different little lanes of shit that can happen, and it's based off of foresight, math, all of it. Like, I'm just making, educated predictions right now. Just making educated predictions right now, just watching this unfold. And like I said, I'm watching during Ramadan, so like the clarity is sometimes a little more clear than I want it to be. And if you see that this stuff is unfolding, and like, I'm here with you, I see it too, and hang in there. We all have a job to do. Like, we're all doing the job. However, everybody's job is different, and you got this. Stick to your mission, stick to what you're doing, and enjoy the show. Because that's how I am viewing life right now. It's a show right now, and it's a show that I've decided to sit out of, but it doesn't mean that I don't contribute to life. I just ain't participating in the show. Like, the production is very low budget. It's very low. Not on God's end. It's low budget on the other side. On the other side. The inner workings that God got in play is actually decent and good. I like this. I like where it's going for God's side. The other side is like, I don't know what y'all doing. Y'all learn how to trick the enemy too. Like, it's working. And sometimes I just don't even know who playing on whose side. Like, has it been infiltrated? Like, I sound real crazy, but if you're on this wavelength, like, you on this wavelength, all I know is that I can't fear it. Like, I can't fear what's going on. I can't stop living my life because of what's going on. I just hope we can continue to afford food and just our needs. I don't even understand how we're over consuming right now. Like, it amazes me how we're still consuming even though we are fighting to live. Like, our income is fighting to live, and yet we are still consuming. I am guilty of it. I'm not trying to shame nobody or nothing. Like, I'm guilty of it. It is the American way to be over consumers. And I even have to look at my own budget, because I'm like, I wanted to do a spring break trip, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to cut this out and cut this out and cut this out. And that's a part of, like, Charlotte's budgeting and financial, like, planning. Like, we literally was like, well, we could take this trip easily. We could take this trip, but with the funds that we had currently had saved, it wasn't gonna be fun. I mean, we could have made fun of it, but it would have been stressful. Like, it would have been like the Texas trip. Like, it happened. It was fucking fun, but it had stressful moments in it, because it was like the money, like, we couldn't, like, move freely like we would want to. So it was like, basically, you get there, you can eat, and you can come back. Like, but you couldn't really, like, do much of anything. So but like, that was an experience we needed, and it was definitely a bonding experience for us. And we still be laughing at those moments. But we have fun. But this one, we wanted to have more fun. Like, we wanted to have more fun. And I was like, well, we're going to have to cut a lot of stuff out. It was some stuff she'd been wanting. And I was like, well, we easily could get that. But we could also put this in the trip fund and have an experience instead of things. The experience will allow us to make memories that we can always cherish and keep when I'm dead and gone, because I hope that, you know, it goes the way that, well, it'll go the way it's supposed to go, whatever. But I would love for it to be that I don't have to lose her. You know, that she will just grieve her parent as the order of things. They say the natural order, but I feel like whatever happens is how it happens. That is the natural order, how it happens. But yeah, I would hope that, you know, like, I don't have to grieve a child, she would grieve a parent type deal. But and it would be, you know, an old age. Like, so I'm wanting the natural experience. But whatever happens is the natural experience. But like, yeah, so she would always have memories, and you can't take those memories away from someone unless they choose to suppress them. So yeah, we're kind of like getting our brains back onto like, why do we want these things? And when we get them, like me, I'm heavy on judging myself on like, and I don't be wanting much. She don't even be wanting much, but like, it's just still like, we'll get these things. Like, I'm big on arts and crafts. Like, I'll feel like I need or want these things, and then like, I will be sitting in the house talking when I'm bored and I ain't even touched it. And so it's like being intentional. Like, if I'm going to buy this thing, I'm going to use it. If I'm going to buy this thing, I'm going to use it. Do I need to buy this thing? And it's a process. Like, I'm not great at this. Like, it's a process. Granted, I don't have a budget where, you know, I could do much with. So like, a lot of my income is spent straight to bills. It goes straight to bills. I don't even get to see 25% of my income. My income is being ate up to bills. I probably get to see about like maybe 5 or 10% of my income that comes in each month. And we just make things do with it. So that's that. Like, and I'm having to learn that too. Like, maybe that's why I be craving to get these things, because, you know, I am coming from a mindset that like, I don't have enough to do what I actually want, because I actually want the experiences, but the experiences cost more. The experiences I want cost more than what the actual things that I think I want. So we've been literally, you know, having those conversations, and it's been great. She's always known how to save. We taught her that from like little age, piggy bank type style, budgeting. We was teaching her budgeting, like, you know, you can't always get what you want right away. Sometimes you have to save to get it. So she does understand and know that. But at the end of the day, she's a child too. So like, it's like trying to find that balance and not sucking the fun out of, you know, her not having things. But at the same token, like, if you can't afford these things, then you can't afford these things. You got to come up with a way that you can afford it, or you got to go without it. And so it's been fun. It's been fun saving, and trying to take this trip. It was a trip of her choice this time, which I love, because last time it was a trip of my choice. So like, now it's a trip of her choice. We have been where she picked, and we could have went to another route and went somewhere else. However, like I said, if we go the other route and go somewhere else, like, I would like to have more money. God willing, like God willing, like if God gave that money to me, you know, right today, like we would go the other way, because I would rather see something new. We could do, you know, the same activity she picked out, but we can do it in a new location. Like I would rather experience something new. But yeah, like I'm just big on life experiences right now. As far as the things like I want out of life is life experiences. I want to travel. I want to try the new foods. I want to, you know, see the world that God gave to us, to nurture, to care for. I want to be able to step foot on different places of this planet. I want to step foot on places that other people don't step foot on, mostly. Like, I want to do that. I want to go to places that people do go, or have been a lot. So there's a lot of places on my bucket list. That is just a lot of experiences in the United States alone. Like, this is in the United States alone. Like, a lot of people don't realize how Americans do not even get to experience the United States. They're living their lives through TV. They're living their lives through TV and their phones, and but they're not getting out and on average taking road trips across the country. Like, we're talking about on average. People are doing it, but like a lot of Americans don't get to see all 50 states before they pass away. I want to do that. I've always wanted to do that. Like, I've always wanted to like just see all of the 50 states that we have. I want to go outward, continue to explore outward. There's so many beautiful places that they have lied to us and act like, you know, what the fuck is a third world country? Like, why are you lying? Like, man, I've been to these so-called third world countries, and like, they're a lot better than ours. They're a lot better than ours. The nature is top tier. The nature is top tier. The air, the beauty, the scenery is top tier. The economy might be, you know, not where we want economies to be, but the people and the nature are top tier. The vibe is top tier. The energy is top tier. You get here and you can find top tier, but you gotta find it. And it's like there as soon as you get there, like it's top tier. And I guess one could argue like they could see it both ways. Like, you could come to a different place and feel that way about the new place, and then once you get there, like, you can find all the problems of it, of course. But I'm just saying that, like, all those commercials where they tried to make like places that are heavily populated by melanated people, like making it seem like they're not it. It's fucked up. Like, it's really like a misconception and a lie. It's part truths. You have, just like we have hoods all over America, you have hoods in other countries, and like then you have these areas that, you know, have a booming economy, and the only reason the hood is because you're not allocating resources and funds the correct way. So that's that. I don't know why I came and did this spiel, but a nigga hungry, and the sun, let's see if the sun has set. Yeah, the sun has officially set, and I am going to go ahead and go eat. Thank God. Thank God. I'm going to go eat. Most importantly, drink. I'm very dehydrated right now. Yeah, we had grilled yesterday, and I had a lot of like protein. And I need water. I'm paying for it today. I have fixed the salad. I ain't even eat it. I ain't gonna even hold you. I didn't even eat the salad I ate. I ate a lot of the meat. And my body can feel it. Like, that's one of the things about fasting, like, that I am enjoying, is that my body is telling me what is a go and what is a no. So if I do not break fast with appropriate foods, I feel it. And typically salads, salmon. I even have done like chicken wraps, like homemade chicken wraps, where I cook my own chicken and, you know, dress it and all that stuff. Like, that has been good to break fast with. Fruits have been good to break fast with. I've been having so many sugar fucking cravings is out of this world, and I'm like, I have broke my sugar cravings. Like, I literally was doing good, so now I am trying to break that again because I relapsed. And it was like, man, I just lost all this weight and I'm trying to still continue to lose some more. I have lost a small elementary child and I'm trying to lose some more. I'm trying to lose some more, but like, observing Ramadan has really like made me crave sugars like out of this world. And I'm trying to get back to like when I had originally broke my sugar habit. And when I say break my sugar habit, I mean like I wanted to transition to natural sugars. So laying off of the chocolate, like it's not that I can't eat it, it's just that like having portion control, like, okay, maybe, you know, instead of eating this whole chocolate bar, I eat a piece or two from the chocolate bar. Because I can eat the whole chocolate bar. Maybe even two. And so like just being more mindful and like replacing that with natural sugars. So it's not the absence of sugars, period. Like I think I would probably pass away because my body needs it. It is used to a certain sugar intake, so I don't want to like take it all out. But literally like, yeah, I was doing like dried mangoes. That helped me a lot. I know in the past too, gummy bears were a good one. Like I just need things that I could chew, like something that's sweet that I can chew. And probably by the time I chew like 1 or 2 dried mangoes, like I'm fulfilled because it's a chewing process. And I'm fulfilled. And when I used to do the gummy bears, I used to do those I think they was gluten-free, vegan. I forgot, like, but they start with an A. Those gummy bears is great. I love those gummy bears. They're not too hard. They're just the right amount of chewy, and I can get that chewing sensation with the sweets. And so, and I'd probably eat like, you know, 10 of those, and I'd be satisfied. And some people might be like 10, that's a lot. Like for me, that's a great number. Like that's a great number. But yeah, like that used to be like my little thing that I would do to try to combat eating a bowl of ice cream at night. And it was working for me. But like observing Ramadan has thrown off everything. Like I've been, and then like I just been having like the craziest cravings. Like I literally felt like I was pregnant, but I'm not having sex. So I was like, it's not that. It's like I think just because my body is being deprived of a lot throughout the day, is that like when it is time to eat it, it's like my body is like kicking in high gear. Like you can use this will get us some sugar real quick. But I don't want, you know, that quick thing. I want something that is actually going to be nutritious. So Ramadan has been like very helpful in me paying attention to my body, being aware of what my body needs, seeing sometimes that my body wants certain things and still trying to figure out like, well, okay, well, what are you trying to tell me? You want a lot of sugar. That means that like I need energy. Like when my body be craving like a lot of sugar, I do notice like it's because I need energy, but I can get energy from all types of sources. It can be, I've learned like an apple is like so sweet. That's another thing. When I stop eating artificial like sweetener, like sweets or like junk food, and I eat like fruit, like the fruit tastes so sweet. Sometimes it's overbearing. Like I literally have to cut my juices. Like, and I've always been that person that cut the juice, but like it's even more extreme. I'm like, this is too sweet. Like I get apple juice and it's like, oh no, we're gonna have to pour some water in this. I will drink my lemonade. I'll drink my lemonade straight. I love lemonade, and I know that's probably like a lot of sugar, but I don't. That's where I'm just like, I'll take the risk with the lemonade. I'll take the risk, but I love lemonade, some natural lemonade. I don't know, it's something about the the acid and the lemon. I don't know. I feel like it's cutting up stuff. That just might be my brain, but I just feel like it's doing something. But yeah, I'm gonna get on off of here. I don't know why all that stuff came out, but it came out for somebody here. And I just want to end this with, I stand with anybody who is for humanity. I am not trying to oppress nobody, and I'm not going to be down with nobody that's trying to oppress me. But I do say that sometimes we watch this media and allow it to have these preconceived notions about people. I have neighbors all around me that literally will give the shirt off their back no matter what color you are, as long as you are a decent person. And media will have you thinking that it's not like that. The media will have you thinking that those are the ones that want you to disappear. Now, there are some out here who want you to disappear, and they do believe in that flag. And there are some that don't. There are some that walk around with suits on. There are some who hide behind degrees. There are some who hide behind religion. You have to use discernment. And that's kind of like what I wanted to do this video for. Use discernment when you misjudging these people. Because you're going to realize we all have a lot in common. We all have a lot in common. And this shit is past with set you rep. The set you gotta rep is humanity. That's it. That's it. That's the set you need to rep. Because we got a lot of sets out here. We got, you got your religious affiliations. We got, your race. All these labels are sets. But y'all don't want to see that. All of them are sets. And they divide us and group us and tell us who's for who and what's for what. And I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to that. Yeah, I have labels that I can identify with. But at the end of the day, I'm for the people. I'm for the people. I don't care what country you come from. I don't care, what's your background. If you for the people, I'm for the people. If you for the liberation of all people, and I mean all people. I don't care about your sets and your affiliations. Are you for the people? Are you for the better good of the people? Are you still trying to oppress like your oppressors did? Yeah, I'm against anything. Number one, I'm against anything that go against black people. And I'm gonna be 100 with you. I'm against anything that go against any if it go against black people. And I don't mean the toxic shit that black people, were conditioned to have. I mean, does it go against the liberation of black people? So it's this first. And I'm against that. But I'm against anything that goes against any group of people. Period. No one should be getting slaughtered because of their religion, their race, their sexuality, any of these affiliations. Nobody should be getting slaughtered or mistreated because of that. So that's my spiel. We got to stop judging books by their covers and actually start having conversations with people. Some of the people that you're conditioned to think that, is for you is not for you. Wolves hiding in sheep clothing. Wolves against foxes. The wolf ain't your friend. The fox ain't your friend. But at least the wolf gonna tell you what the fuck is going on. The fox gonna hide his hand. And I'm gonna end there.